Welcome to Cardinals Cover 2 with Craig Grialou and Mike Jurecki. Cardinals Cover 2 is brought to you by Arizona Cardinals Podcasts. Visit azcardinals.com/podcasts. From the Dignity Health Arizona Cardinals Training Center, here's Craig Grialou and Mike Jurecki.
Well, welcome to the first day of the rest of their lives. That's right, the rookies have arrived, taking physicals this afternoon. Then they'll be on the field for a 3-day mini camp Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We've been talking about this for a couple of days now, MJ, but all 11 draft picks. We will hear from 4 today on this special edition of Cards Cover 2. Wide receiver Andy Isabella, defensive lineman Zach Allen, wide receiver Hakeem Butler, and safety Deionte Thompson. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th round draft picks respectively. Not sure what order we'll hear from them, but those are the 4 that will be made available to the media here this afternoon. Of course, we've already heard from Kyler Murray, we've heard from Byron Murphy, but everyone is in the building and ready to go. As I mentioned, today is day 1.
Yeah, a lot of excitement. Did see a couple of players, just walking through the halls here, and obviously guys are getting fitted for their, cleats and their helmets and their pads and, everything else. Got to get a physical. So I'm sure it's an exciting day for them. But when I look at this draft class, this is the future right here, okay? And you stack last year, even though they only had 6 draft picks, 1 didn't make the roster, and Chris Campbell. But you start looking at, obviously they're counting on a guy like Kyler Murray and Murphy and Isabella and Butler and Thompson and Johnson. So to me, this is about the future. But this team feels like they have enough talent on the roster to win some games this year and make progress. But don't kid me here. This is how you build the belly of your football team, is through the draft.
Well, you've got a quarterback, you've got 3 wide receivers, a tight end, a couple of offensive linemen, a couple of defensive linemen, and don't forget the 12 undrafted free agents that were signed following the draft as well. They're here this weekend hoping to make a name for themselves, get on that radar, and maybe get it a push to make that 53-man roster. But they are here. And then, of course, there'll be some guys that you talk about, MJ, that are on tryout basis. Can they do enough over 72 hours to say, all right, on Monday, they're still here because they've signed and made even a bigger case for them? So a tryout for them here, but there are 32 teams out there, so it's not just the Cardinals that are doing this, but every team is trying to figure out what the best 90 right now, and then eventually getting down to 53.
Yeah, and right now the Cardinals have 97 guys on the roster, so they're going to have to make 7 roster moves between now and the time they step on the field tomorrow. So curious to see, and then as you mentioned, not only the 12 undrafted free agents that have signed, you're going to have some other tryout guys. And usually there's a little bit of movement. It's very fluid over the course of the weekend. Maybe one of the guys they signed and thought maybe one of the tryout guys. So it'd be interesting to see what the roster looks like on Monday. And we do think the Cardinals still going to add a couple more players between now and training camp. But I think on paper, you can make a case this is probably 98%, if 99% of the roster moving forward.
All of these guys that we'll hear from on this special edition of Cards Cover 2, they've all got great backstories. Of course, we mentioned Andy Isabella following the Senior Bowl and how well he performed during that week of practice. And then on game day, that's kind of the first time that I had heard his name. But then Zach Allen out of Boston College, very productive, 100 tackles as a junior. Hakeem Butler out of Iowa State, big play target as far as a receiver is concerned. And then Deionte Thompson out of Alabama. All you need to do is just mention Alabama and just the talent that comes out of that school. And, of course, someone that many people thought could have been a first-round draft pick at the start of the 2018 season, and then slowly but surely his name dropped, and whether that's injury or other concerns, but the Cardinals believe with all 11 of these guys that they have not just in their respective rounds. And let me pause you on that as we have our first draftee up at the podium. It is Iowa State wide receiver, that is Alabama safety Deionte Thompson meeting the media.
Welcome to the desert. I'm glad to be here. I noticed the heat when I first stepped off the plane. I saw mountains. I'm from Texas, Orange, Texas, small town in Texas. So, I like the view out here. I'm ready to get to work. Happy to be here. Around a great group of guys. So I'm just ready to go. No, we came out here for the national championship my redshirt freshman year. The sun wasn't out as much, but it's just beautiful here. So I'm glad to be back. So.
You do realize this isn't heat. Heat will be in June and July.
See, I got to see what type of heat this is, because the heat in Texas, hot. The heat in Alabama is hot. So I just keep going to all the hot places. I'm just glad I didn't go nowhere cold. I hate the cold. I'm glad I ain't go nowhere cold. So thank you, God. Just thank you. Thank you for sending me here. So.
Were you disappointed at all in where you fell in the draft?
Absolutely. 13 safeties picked before me. That's something I'll never forget. It just added a little chip on my shoulder. So, I'm ready to go. But I'm thankful that I landed here. Place with some guys in the secondary that I can get under right away and learn how to do things here. So, everything happens for a reason. I landed, I feel like, in a great spot, around a great group of guys, great coaching staff. So I'm ready to get to work.
What were the emotions like, knowing that a lot of the fall was out of your control, where teams seemed like worried about the knee more so than the actual production and your talent level?
It really sucked, but at the end of the day, like, I was just happy to hear my name get called. That was a huge milestone for me and my family. It's just something that I worked so hard for all my life. So, when I got the call, like, I just automatically just started crying, and it was just like damn, my dream is come true. But I cried for probably, like, I want to say, like, 0.2 seconds. It's because I'm like, damn, like, I just still had that chip on my shoulder, like I was on the board that late, but it's out of my control. What I can control now is what I do while I'm here, and that's the only thing I can control. Just come in here and work hard every day, learn, God gave me 2 ears for a reason. Just listen, to all the veteran guys and just find a way to contribute.
You played against Kyler Murray last year. What were your impressions of him?
That was one of the most challenging guys to prepare for, just because of what he did. He was able to extend the play. An average football player is probably ranges from 4 to 6 seconds. This guy could extend the play from 7 to 8 seconds. And as a DB, you can't cover that long. You can try, but eventually somebody's going to get open. Coverage going to break down somewhere. And, in the SEC, we probably got those plays probably like twice a game, if that. It was like the whole game was like that. After the second quarter, I'm like, damn, like, bro, can we get a sack on him or something? It's just like he was just running all over the place, but just a big credit to who he is as a player. He's been doing that since high school. The guy's a winner. He can step in and win. He didn't beat me, but he can step in and win. So I'm glad I'm on this team now, though. So
How does he protect himself from getting hit? Just speed, pure speed.
It's a question you have to ask him. I don't know too much about that. I mean, he would run and then he would slide like right before you could get him. But like, we're downfield covering, and if he breaks out of that pocket, we're all 20, 30 yards deep. So, we're running down, and he's sliding, running out of bounds, getting that extra yard. So, he does what he does well.
What did the scouting report say about him going into that game? What did your coaches tell you about
I can't tell you what Coach Saban said. I can't. Hey, nah.
You're not there anymore. You can. I'm just curious what they said about him as a player.
It's just like he was very elusive. This guy could extend plays, and like, he's also a great passer. He's a baseball player, so he has the arm to put the ball anywhere, and that was challenging for us. Like, a guy that we had to worry about in the run game and in the pass game. So, it was a challenging night for us.
Having that scouting report and watching film ahead, how different was it, though, actually seeing him do that on the field against you?
It was different. because I'm like, man, okay, like I see the plays, but I'm like, man, we got something forward. You know, that's my mindset going into every game and just playing with Coach Saban. The game plans that he would come up with, I never thought we were gonna lose. I'm like, man, look, we're gonna win every game with this game plan because he had so many ways to isolate guys, shut guys down, and you know, just thought that was gonna work. And then when we came in, first quarter, you know, they had like 24 total yards, and then second quarter they start coming dice by dice, and look up in third quarter, he's running up and down the field, throwing touchdowns, and I'm like, damn, Coach, you ain't tell us it was gonna be like this, no? It's like it ain't gonna be like this, but you know.
What kind of player are Cardinals getting into you? Where do you thrive at as a safety?
Oh, they're getting a guy that's a highly competitive player. You know, I'm ready to compete. Playing at Alabama really helped me compete every day, just because like if you're not on your job every day there's a guy right behind you that can take your spot, and it's no different in the NFL. Your spot can get taken just like that, and you know I'm ready for that part of it, and I'm a guy that can play sideline to sideline. I can fill the alleys, make the tackles. I play free safety and strong safety at Alabama, so I have no problem with doing both at this level. So.
Why has Alabama produced so many pro-ready guys?
Just because I feel like it's just because of the competition every day that you see at practice. These are 5 stars all across the country, and sometimes practice is just as hard as the game. You know, ones versus ones. Like you're going up against guys like Tua, Jerry Jeudy. These are young guys now, but they can go. So just going up against them every day got me prepared for the game, and it's always like that, you know, from the guys that came before me, Eddie Jackson, Minka Fitzpatrick, Ronnie Harrison, just being around those guys and getting to learn from them and compete with them every day just helped me become the player that I am.
What's safety from Alabama had a lot of success out here, Rashad Johnson. Did you have a chance to talk to him at all? What do you think?
Yes, sir. Rashad came back to coach last year, going into my redshirt junior year, and immediately as soon as he got there, he was a helping hand right away for me, just telling me what it was going to be like, and he helped me evolve my game last year, and he was one of the big reasons why I was able to play how I played at a highly level, because just sitting down and watching film with him every day before and after practice, it was just like when I got in the game, it was easy because I knew what was coming and I knew how to defend it.
He's pretty smart, huh?
Smart. It's a smart guy, and he just knows football, you know, and he has a good feel for the game, and he loves it, you know. That's the biggest part to me about the game of football. If you want to be a great player in this game, you got to love football, and you got to love everything that comes with it, the grind, the pain, the sweat, the tears, the blood. You have to love all of that. So
How did Nick Saban help you as a defensive back, defensive player? How did he help you?
Well, I could tell you he helped me one way by ripping my ass every day at practice. So, you know, making sure that I was on top of stuff and making sure that I was accountable on that field. If you weren't accountable, you weren't gonna be out there. So, you know, he's a great coach, and he demands excellence. He wants you to do it until you can't get it wrong, and that was one of the things I had to learn. You know, I had to learn how to be a fundamental player. Just coming from my high school, you know, I was kind of a freelance guy, you know, just making plays all over the field. And now with the Coach Saban coaching under my belt, I understand the position. I understand, like, what receivers want to do. Actually, my redshirt freshman year, he moved me to receiver. So I played a little bit of receiver, never played in a game, but I practiced on it. And he moved me back going into my redshirt freshman year. So that whole process, I feel like, was a blessing in disguise, because now, like, I got an idea of what the receivers want to do, you know. And to me, the game is full of concepts, you know. The receivers are running concepts. So once you understand the concepts and understand how to break that down and defend it, you'll be better off.
In your early impressions of Cliff? How does he compare to Saban?
I haven't got to know him that much, but I know he throws the ball a lot, so, that's a good thing, So.
Why did you choose Alabama?
I chose Alabama because I wanted to win. I didn't want to go to a school in Texas to where I wasn't going to be able to compete for a championship. Since I've been in high school, since Little League, I've won championships. So, I didn't want to go to a mediocre team and not compete for anything. So I went to Alabama, and my dad sat me down before I signed my letter of intent because I had LSU, Florida State, all those people sent me some stuff. And before the day, I was committed to Alabama since my sophomore year, but just on that day, I was like, man, I can back out or go to another school. My dad was like, look, if you want to be average, then you go to the other school. You go to the other schools and you can play right away, contribute right away, but what does that give you? You're probably not going to win a championship because you're going to run into Alabama eventually. So it's like I took my dad's advice and I was like, man, I'm going to go just compete over there. So it took me some time to get on the field, but I enjoyed the process over there and how everything went, just building relationships with the coaching staff, the support staff, and the players there. Just made me the player that I am today, and I'm thankful for it.
We're gonna make this the last one.
Miles Jack is a guy who fell in the draft with knee concerns, and he's played every single game, had a nice career through 3 years. Is it nice to know there are cases where people might be a little concerned and guys have gotten past that and put together nice careers?
Oh, yes, sir. Just seeing that and being able to go off that, it gives you hope. But, my knee is fine. I'm ready to go right now, ready to go. So I'm just ready to get to work, and I'm putting all that stuff behind me and just ready to work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, there it is. Deionte Thompson, the safety out of Alabama. Quote, my dream has come true, but as we've heard from several players who have been drafted, he knew exactly how many safeties were selected ahead of him. He mentioned 13. We've heard on social media, Keyshawn Johnson knows that there were 19 wide receivers selected ahead of him. So, again, good to have a chip on your shoulder, but sounded like a bright young man and very fond of his time at Alabama.
Yeah, I feel that he's got a great chance to make the roster. The swear injuries on the last year of his deal. I'm sure the Cardinals will like to extend him. Let's go back to the presser.
Here is wide receiver out of Iowa State, Hakeem Butler.
We'll ask you the same question we just asked Deionte. You played against Cairo last year.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't on defense, but as you watched him, what were you thinking?
The kid's incredible. He has speed like no other, and I think he's just really intelligent when it comes to the game of football.
How do you know that?
You can just tell. You could look at a person and tell they don't know what they're doing, but he just seems it's pretty simple, but he just seems so calm and under control out there. I really like that.
What do we look like?
Speed, have you seen speed like that?
His speed or my speed? He's fast. He's not like me, but his speed is it's like a controlled burst. Like he lets it out. I don't know if he got hit all last year. Yeah. How would you describe your speed? Blazing, Sonic, we in the desert, road runner. Whatever you want to.
How do you see yourself fitting into Cliff's offense right now?
I just want to come in and honestly just make plays wherever I can, whenever the opportunity presents itself. I've seen some things that he's done at Texas Tech, and I definitely know I could have fit in there. And just a lot of things that I've just seen him do with Texas Tech and the quarterbacks and the receivers that he had. He's always had big receivers that make plays, and hopefully I can just come in and do that.
Keep as a fellow receiver to get to learn from a guy like Larry. So what are your thoughts on it?
Like I tell everybody that asks me, I'm ready to just be a sponge with that dude. Everybody says he's one of the best human beings. Y'all probably would know better than me, but I'm just ready to get in and just learn everything I can from him.
Did you have a sense that Coach Kingsbury was a fan of your game?
It was a little a little bit there. After we played him, he kind of told me I was a beast and like he was just a big fan of me. And I mean, that just stood out to me for my whole college season.
Having said that, what went through your mind when you realized you got drafted by him and you guys a chance to play with him in this offense?
Just excited. I mean, anybody that's a fan of me, you support me, I'll do anything for you.
How did you do in that game? College, right?
You said what?
He didn't recruit you to Texas Tech.
No, he didn't.
That's something that you were mad about, upset about?
No, but I mean, everybody that overlooks me, I definitely remember. I'm never gonna let it go. I forgive, but I never forget.
Do you remember how you did in that game? How did you think you did in that game?
It wasn't my best game. I had like a game-sealing touchdown, I guess, versus him at the end, but it was all right.
You like press coverage? You
said what?
You like press?
I love press because I'm physical, and I realized, like I tell you, I realized kind of early that deep defensive players, they don't like to be hit. So you hit them first, it wake them up quick.
Hakeem, you and Larry both lost your moms to breast cancer. How tough was that for you as a teenager, and then having to move and do all those and go through what you went through?
I look at it from two different perspectives. One, initially, you just like you have that why me mentality, and it's tough. It's tough as a kid, and just with like the life I had and just everything I was going through in Baltimore, just for her to just leave, it was like I don't have a mom anymore. But I realized over time, like she's always with me. I carry her with me every day. And from the second perspective, like as I got older, I look back. I mean, I lost her so she can give me a new life, and I carry that with me every day. Like without her, I might not have moved to Houston and started playing football so competitively and got recruited and even be sitting here today. So, I mean, I thank her for everything every day.
What do you think she'd think of this right now?
Oh, I mean, she'd be excited. I mean, she'd be trying to sit up here next to me.
Rick has talked about he likes to move receivers everywhere. Inside guys, outside guys, inside. And everybody's going to move.
Mm-hmm.
How exciting is that? Unless you think you're X or Y, to be able to go anywhere to get the ball.
Oh, I mean, I've never tried to just put myself in a box where I just like a one-trick pony, I guess. At Iowa State, I played inside, outside. My sophomore year, redshirt sophomore year, I was only inside. I mean, I might have got 3 reps outside. So I would say, I mean, I'm excited about it. I mean, he sees what his players are good at and he puts them in the right positions. It's a great coach.
Is Calvin Johnson a guy you've kind of emulated because of size and speed?
Calvin Johnson, definitely. I mean, I've always just tried to be Hakeem, but I've always watched Calvin. Everybody knows how great he was and just the monster and how just crazy good he was. But I mean, Randy Moss is definitely up there for me. I think he's the greatest receiver ever, and the things he's done on the football field are just unmatched.
You gonna tell Fitz that you think Randy Moss is the greatest receiver ever?
I mean, we gonna figure it out when I see him.
You work with Calvin, right?
Yeah, I worked with him.
Where did he help you in your game?
He helped me in a lot of places. Just keeping things tighter. Being a big receiver, cornerbacks, they trying to get inside and just eat you up however they can. So just keeping your hands tight and just being physical and just more explosive. Like I show it a lot of times, but I need to show it every play is what he tells me.
Is it the 50-50 ball you think you're going to thrive at?
Among some of the things, it's on that list of things I'm trying to definitely, ace and just be the best at.
You have any idea? Brock Purdy started just down the street.
Yeah.
What did he tell you about coming back to his hometown?
I used to always make fun of Brock from being from Arizona. Like, bro, nobody lives out there, and and it's just crazy how it all comes back like this. So I got to talk to Brock soon and just apologize.
Do you have any idea what lies ahead here in the next few days or weeks?
Practice. It's time to get to work, I guess. I mean, that's all I really know.
You had a spectacular season last year, a bunch of big plays statistically, obviously very impressive. One of the knocks, scouting report, was drops. What did you make of that criticism during the draft process?
I mean, people saw what they saw. I mean, I dropped a few balls definitely during the season, a few easy ones, and made the complicated catches, which is what everyone said about me. And I would say it was focus, and I've just, between all the places I've been training since I've got out of school, it's just like when you don't have school in your life since I've graduated, you have so much more time to focus on your craft and just improve in so many areas that it takes me a year to improve when I'm in school. But 2-3 months, you know, you grinding without school, without that distraction. It's like now things improve so fast.
Is focus something you can work on during the off season, or does it have to be in a game situation?
No, I mean, you could practice on focus every day. You know, you practice on focus right now.
Hakeem, if you had to focus on one thing that you do extremely well, what is the best thing you do as a wide receiver?
I just have fun and smile. I think if you're not having fun, like as a football player as a whole, I think it's gonna be a tough day.
Do you have any interest outside of football when you're not focusing on football?
I just explore, adventure, just see the world, honestly.
What's it like coming in on a team like this where with Cliff and Kyler it's going to look so different than last year? It's kind of still unknown what it's going to be like. So how do you just feel coming into that?
Like I mean, me and Kyler were talking. I feel like a freshman going into college again. And, you know, you just trying to get the ropes and get around the right people so they can show you the right things to do and just figure out how to be a pro.
Are you a video game guy at all?
I play video games. A little bit of everything. Apex. I play Fortnite in a minute, but I'm going to get back on it. Fortnite, 2K, Madden, I play it all.
Did you know Kyler at all in high school?
No, I didn't. Allen, Texas is huge, and Allen's a different part of Texas than where I was at in Richmond.
They always talk about how good he was in high school. I was curious whether the legend kind of rattled him around the state.
Oh, yeah, he was known around this state. He had like 25 touchdowns in the first 4 games, and I was like, nah, this kid ain't human. Like,
what's it like being around him?
I mean, it's cool. Like, he's a human. Like, he's a regular guy like me. I mean, we just both excited to get out here and play.
How about the rest of the rookies? What's it going to be like getting to know all them?
I mean, excited. It's a new environment, new people. You just like the thing about football. People come from so many different areas. You learn new things and you gain so much knowledge from people. I mean, you don't know everything, and everybody can teach you something. And so I think that's a big thing from just being around so many different people.
Did you watch any tape of Andy Isabella?
I've definitely like watched his highlights.
You saw what you saw.
The kid's fast. I mean, the kid he's incredible. I mean, fast is what I could say for one. He catches the ball great, and after the catch, he's definitely trying to score. He had a great game against Georgia, kind of embarrassed him.
What kind of combo can you guys be?
We're going to figure it out. It's going to be dangerous, though. I mean, I can't wait to meet him and just get on the same page.
What does it show you when a guy like that comes from a smaller football school but shows up into the SEC team year out?
It shows that coaches don't know everything and scouts don't know everything because he went to such a small school. I don't know what the reason was for that. Maybe that's where he wanted to go. Maybe not. But at the same time, I mean, like the same thing happened with me. Like I ended up at Iowa State. That wasn't my first choice, but I mean, it's a blessing that I went there and my career panned out how it did. But, you know, I had a lot of people during the process tell me that I wasn't going to be good or I couldn't play at that level. And I made it my mission every day to go out there and prove those people wrong. And I could see he has that look in his eye and that he has that chip on his shoulder as well that he plays. I mean, he's short, so I know he got a lot of knocks. And I'm tall. People knock me because I'm tall. Like, I never knew being a mismatch was a problem. But, I mean, that's just what happens, and you get that knock on you. And it's kind of crazy, but, you know, you carry that chip on your shoulder, and I hope he has one because mine's huge.
So what height do you have to be to not get those knocks?
I don't know. I think maybe 6 foot, 6'1" is like the perfect height where people just leave you alone. But, you know, you below that or above that, you know, people they start hating on you.
Slouch a little?
Do I? No, I'm not slouching nobody. Like, I'm 6'6". I'm going to stand tall and let you see.
What was your best 40 time unofficial that you can tell us you actually ran?
Unofficial. Yeah, one team clocked me at like a 4.35. Make sure we get that out there. You said what? I don't know, but just make sure you put it out there to everybody. 4.35.
Thanks,
Thank you.
New Cardinals wide receiver Hakeem Butler out of Iowa State. And another thing that we always know about athletes, especially on the NFL level, they always know their 40 time. 4.35 unofficially, MJ. Got to make sure we mention that when we're talking about Hakeem Butler.
Yeah, he wanted that out there, and 2 for 2 on interviews. I mean, obviously they've had a little time to reflect. I'm sure they didn't sleep well last night. They know that they're going to be under the microscope for the next couple of days, and I think it's hard to evaluate just because they're learning a brand new system and scheme, and so it's probably better to evaluate them when the veterans are here. But both guys well-spoken and excited to be here.
And speaking of guys, how about our next draft pick? The second-round selection, Andy Isabella, the wide receiver out of UMass.
He said that he gets knocked for being 6'6". He assumed you get knocked for being so small. What's that right height? You don't get a...
We need like a mix of me and him, maybe.
Well, you get traveled across country. What's your first impression of the desert here?
This is my first time in Arizona. I'm excited. Like, it's awesome being out here. Everyone says good things about it. I haven't done much exploring yet, but I'm excited to be here.
I'm sure you got a chance to see the Cardinals' war room reaction when they drafted you. What did you think when you saw Kingsbury jumping around like a crazy man after you talked to Steve Conn, you talked to him?
I never watched it, but a lot of people were telling me about it, and I mean, it's cool that they believe in me. It's kind of a different scenario now. Usually, no one believes in me, and I'm trying to fight my way into a spot, but it looks like they believe in me a lot, and hopefully I can prove them right.
What was your recruiting process like out of high school?
I had an Air Force offer my junior year, and then nothing really until after my senior year, and then I had a high school coach that when I started running indoor track, I ran a pretty good time, and he put it out there, and Coach Whip called me like 2 days before signing day, and that was my only other offer besides a couple FCS schools.
Looking back, why do you think you weren't recruited much?
Probably because of my size.
What's it like now that you're in the NFL, kind of looking back at all of that?
It's crazy to see what I think that made me the person I am today. It made me work harder than everyone else, and it kind of put a big chip on my shoulder to prove everyone wrong. And I think I still have that chip, and I still have a lot to prove.
I watched the interview with you, Dan. You was talking about you played for like a little league team, the Cowboys, and you weren't playing much, and you kept asking the coach to give you the ball, and they finally gave you the ball, and you took it like 60 or 70 yards to the house and flipped into the end zone. Is that the points at that moment that it kind of clicked for you? Do you kind of agree with that?
Yeah, I remember that moment. I mean, I actually wanted to quit. I played soccer. I don't like to talk about myself, but I was a decent soccer player. So I was like, after I wasn't getting the ball at all, I was like, I'm just gonna play soccer. And he was like, no, he told me that when you start something, you gotta finish it. And yeah, they gave me the ball. The first game was actually against my high school. We were living somewhere else at the time, and that was my first football game. And yeah, I dove in the end zone, and the ref tossed the flag. And then he almost tossed the flag on the second touchdown, but he let me off the hook.
You think you would have made it to the pros in soccer?
What?
You think you would have made it to the pros in soccer?
I think if I put my mind to it, I would have found a way to, because I think this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a professional athlete, and something I always knew growing up. I wanted to be a pro and athlete. I didn't know how I was going to get it done, but I think I woke up every day and consciously made efforts to be here and be in this position.
We've heard stories from Coach Whipple and other people. The Jugs got into shoveling snow so you could run during the winter and not miss a workout. Can you talk about both of those things by the Jugs, using your sister to put the ball in for you, give her a buck, and then shoveling snow?
The shoveling snow, we had our old strength coach. He's actually at Arizona State now. He usually gets the field plowed for me on Saturday mornings, but I think he wanted me to rest, so he told the guys they didn't shovel it. So, and he said, you can't work out now. So I was like, I'll go shovel it. And he gave me a shovel. He didn't believe me. And he ended up taking the picture. But the Jugs thing was just just keep improving my catching and using my hands. I think was a big criticism of mine throughout the whole process. And yeah, that was my on that.
And you probably spent your entire college career proving people wrong that culminated in being a second-round draft pick. Can you kind of talk about that journey, what that was like in achieving something that obviously a lot of people never thought you could?
Like I said, I think I always, even when I went to UMass, I went there because I wanted to play in the NFL. I mean, I took care of my school my school for sure. I mean, I definitely always went to class and did all my academics, but like I said, every day I woke up and consciously made efforts to try to be in this position. And I didn't know it was going to work out. I had no clue what was going to happen, but I kept fighting every day, and I did the right things every day, I think, and made efforts to put myself in this position, and it ended up working out.
Do you think your performance against Georgia last year opened some eyes?
Definitely. We got beat pretty good, so everyone says you had a great game. Like, but the score, we lost by like 50 points. So I want to win games. I don't like. I could care less if I had 400 yards, but because I want to win. So I went. I remember the Bills were interviewing me, and they're like, "You had a great game versus Georgia." I was like, "We got destroyed," and they started laughing. He's like, "You shouldn't tell. You're in an interview. You should be like, yeah, you had a great game."
What do you anticipate to be your biggest challenge going forward?
Biggest challenge, I think. I don't really, I think it's just if I just keep doing what I'm doing and stay focused on waking up each day and like ignore all the other distractions about. And I think being in college, smaller college, there's no really anyone just distracting you that much. And now you have a lot of people talking about you, and everyone's kind of wants to know something. So I think that might be the biggest challenge, is just staying who I am and continue to wake up and constantly make efforts to continue my career here.
The Cardinals gave up a lot to move back into that 62nd overall spot with the trading the quarterback losing. That included a lot of other draft picks. When you look at that, is there any pressure on you to make sure that they didn't miss something?
There's definitely pressure, but I think that makes it even more fun. I think I like the pressure, but I think that makes it funner. I think that's gonna make me work harder, and I don't like letting people down. Usually when I get a shot, in past experiences, I've shown up. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing and keep working hard.
How do you think you fit into this offense?
However they use me, I guess. I mean, I know they run a lot of receivers. I've been watching his Texas Tech film and stuff like that. So I'm excited to do whatever he wants me to do.
Andy, what was it like to train with Randy Moss and get to work out with him?
It was intense. He's an intense guy. But I definitely took a lot of stuff he taught us to heart. He used a lot of things he would try to do was get us in shape, or like try to improve our mental game a lot. And where he would have us get really run 10 routes in a row, and then run 40-yard sprints, and then to get back on the line and run some more routes, and when you're barely could breathe. But I've definitely taken that to heart. I mean, even when I've been home training with quarterbacks at home in Cleveland, that I've been following his kind of lead of doing that. It's not a fun type of training because it's tiring, but I mean, it definitely worked.
Have you talked to him since you got drafted?
No, I haven't. No.
Was that leading up to the draft? You worked out with him, or?
That was pre-Senior Bowl.
One of the Cardinal scouts called you a souped-up Danny Amendola. Is there a comp that you like to compare yourself to or someone?
I mean, I don't really like comparing myself. I mean, I do like watching other players and be like, I want to be like him. But I like the Danny Amendola. He's a good. I like watching him play.
You had picking him against SEC schools, basically throughout your career. You might not have won those, but why do you think you were able to show up in games like that and spotlight like that?
I don't like to say you show up in the big games, you want to show up in every game, but I mean, just being in that atmosphere, that's what I dreamed of playing at. I dreamed of playing at Ohio State or Florida or Georgia, and to be on that field was all amazing, and it's just this is a different energy there, and definitely made me play better.
Was your speed tough for the guys to handle on the other side?
I mean, it's just there's football players at the end of the day. It's just there's more media there and a lot more people watching.
You're excited to see what your speed and Kyler's speed specifically can do to opposing defenses.
Absolutely, I'm excited to play here. I'm excited to play with him. I just talked to him. We were just eating with him, and we were just BSing about random stuff. But I'm excited to get out there and play with him.
What was it like winning 100 in high school?
That was one of my goals was to win the 100-meter dash, and that was an amazing experience. I mean, I like I said, I like winning. I like losing, and being able to go out there and win that. I mean, that was because I had the previous year I had missed out on the finals at States, and it stinks. I had to wait a whole another year to get back out there and try to make the finals, and I made the finals, and then won it all. So it was pretty cool.
Hakeem was saying it was like it felt like freshman year of college again. There's three rookie wide receivers, a rookie quarterback. There's a rookie head coach. Can you just kind of talk about the vibe around the football team now? I mean, it's new for you, but it's really new for everybody. It's a whole new era in Arizona Cardinal football, really. Can you kind of just speak to that and what that's like to be a part of that?
I think everyone is. It's very energetic. Even just walking around, everyone's pretty energetic, and everyone's on edge, trying to see what's going to happen. So I'm excited.
How familiar were you with Kyle before you got drafted?
I mean, I watched a couple of his games, but I mean, I didn't really know him too well, to be honest.
Was that watching it after he was already drafted, or?
No, I watched previous him and they.
How many jet sweeps have you run in your career?
Probably 1,000. No, I would Coach Whip would give me at least. He would give me one. He would give me one jet sweep a game, 2 if I was lucky.
Do you like that part?
Oh yeah. I didn't like him in high school, but Coach Whip had a great job of getting them blocked up. Because I feel like when you go in motion, then the whole defense knows the ball's going that way. But Coach Whip did a great job of blocking him up, and I had some big games on him.
What's it like being in the same receiver room as Larry?
That's gonna be sweet. My mom pulled out an old picture of Thanksgiving Turkey Bowl where I was wearing his jersey when I was 10 years old. And so I'll have to show him it when I see him.
You mentioned you had a conscious effort to try to get yourself in this position. Can you take me through some of the habits and some of the routines that you had?
I think one thing that kind of stuck up in my mind when is that we have an omelet lady that cooks omelets for the football team, and when she said to my dad, she was like, Andy's always here at 7 a.m. every single day. So I think that was I always woke up at 7 a.m., ate breakfast, did my thing, and then I got to work. Yeah. It didn't matter if it was Monday or Saturday. I was always there and putting in the time and effort. I think being at UMass was maybe the best thing for me because I was there kind of by myself and been able to focus on what I need to focus on and be able to do what I needed to do to be in this position.
And when you watch Kyle, when you were watching games, did you think man, what would it be like to play with a guy like that? Did that cross your mind?
I mean, I always thought about what if I was playing at one of these bigger schools or whatever. But I'm happy with that I got to play at UMass. I think it made me the person I am today. And but I mean, yeah, I think I can't wait to play with a guy like Kyler.
What kind of omelet would you make?
Excuse me?
What's your omelet choice?
I'll just get ham and cheese, but I started getting spinach and no cheese. That make it a little healthier.
Can we get the omelet question? Yeah.
New Cardinals wide receiver Andy Isabella out of UMass, the 62nd overall selection. And once again, we are reminded of just how long Larry Fitzgerald has been in the NFL. When I was 10 years old, according to Isabella, he was wearing a Fitz jersey out in the backyard during Thanksgiving. So, yeah, good old Uncle Fitz in that wide receivers room.
Yeah, he's not the father figure or the mentor. He's Uncle Fitzy. Yeah, listen, you can tell he was excited. All three guys have been excited. Not a surprise. I mean, like I said, they had time to reflect once they were drafted, and now they're here, and I love it. They're ready to go to work, and I'm sure their heads are going to be spinning. But that's the process. I mean, you gotta grind through. A lot of it's mental versus physical. They're here because of their physical attributes, but now it's going to become more mental, learning, obviously creating relationships, and trying to get better every single day.
Well, how about you mentioned the work not only that Isabella put in, but to hear Hakeem Butler say that he worked with Calvin Johnson. Isabella worked with Randy Moss. I mean, you can't get two better wide receivers, and they both are good at different things. Of course, Johnson, the big target, and then Moss was just so smooth in his routes. But you're talking about two of the best, and now they've got Larry Fitzgerald in that room in which they can learn from.
Yeah, and hopefully when they get a chance to get on the field, we can see a chance with Jerry Sullivan, and he'll help these receivers out.
One more draft pick we promised you here on this special edition of Cards Cover 2. It's defensive lineman Zach Allen out of Boston College. He has stepped up to the microphone and meeting with media.
During the pre-combine process, and I fell in love with it. So It's different, but it's its own different beauty, serenity, the whole deal. So I was here when there was snow on the mountains, everything. So I know I won't be seeing that probably for a while, but
A little different in the summer.
yeah, I bet.
Zach, we keep hearing about you as your motor and your high energy. Where does that come from? Has that always been part of who you are? Is it somebody kind of taught that into you?
I don't know. I just always, prided myself as being a hard worker. I think kind of part of that's just never taking a play off. And I think just kind of throughout, my career in high school and in college, I just had great coaches who really harped on that. And I think if you watch any BC game, it's not just me, it's everybody. I know for a fact you could see a lot of DBs chasing down some big runs and stuff like that. So I was just really fortunate to kind of get that instilled in me.
I feel like you have a lot of different moves you use to get into the backfield, and patience is also one of them. Can you talk about how many ways there is to do what you did?
Yeah, I think kind of you just have to, in a defense, not every play is designed for you to, to make the play. You just got to play within the fit of the defense and really just do your job is kind of the key. And when you do that, usually good things come to you. It's, always finds its way that people get theirs, as the saying is. So, just not trying to do too much, get out of my gap. I just stay in there and just, if I have to, help out on another one and, it's the right timing, then I'll do it.
Have you had any conversations yet with Vance Joseph about how he sees you fitting in the 3-4?
Yeah, I mean, I've been going over the playbook the past couple weeks since the draft, and just playing that that 5 technique. But the really cool thing about the defense is there's just so much stuff to learn. So I'm just excited just to kind of really find a fit anywhere, whatever the team needs, because that's all I can do as a rookie.
What did you guys run at BC? What did you run at BC?
We ran a multiple, mostly 4-3, but there was some 3-4 in there.
How hard is it to move from a 4-3 to a 3-4?
Not really. Actually, my junior year, we played 3-4 most of it, so I've really had experience in all of it, and it's just different technique. You just work at it like anything else. But I think that's kind of one of my cooler traits is my versatility. Is I've played a lot of different positions at BC, so anything from a 0 to a 9. So now I'm excited for the challenge, and I'm really just going to take it head on.
Different schools and different conferences, but you and Andy played in the same area of the country. Did you have a chance to watch him a lot in college, or?
I played Andy twice, so I had the game plan against him. So the crazy thing is everybody knows you got a game plan for him because he's their guy, and he still just goes out and makes plays. So I think that's really the impressive thing, and I'm lucky to have him on my team now instead of having to scout him. So.
How'd the game plan work out for you?
I mean, we won, so yeah. With him, I mean, he got his. I mean, he's a great player, so you can complain about if you can just. I think we held him to like 100 yards. So and when you hold him to 100, it's a good day in the office.
What's your weight at now, and have they talked to you at all about the possibility of putting weight on?
Yeah, like right now I'm kind of high 270s, low 280s, and just probably try and gain some, but do it smart. Don't just go for the Golden Corral all you can eat buffet, but just follow the plan. We got 10 weeks till or 8 weeks till camp, so just gonna do it the right way.
Did he give you a number?
No, it's kind of more just can you play instead of just being a number. Yeah.
Because they're playing a one-gap defense, is adding weight maybe not as important if they're playing a different kind of 3-4?
I just think in just this day and age, you want guys that just can move well and can really attack linemen. So I think just whatever weight, if it's heavy or light or whatever it is, whatever that is.
What excites you the most about this defense?
I think the name. I was looking at some of the names on this defense, and it's kind of hard not to, because I grew up, Patrick Peterson, Terrell Suggs, Chandler Jones. Like these are guys that I grew up just admiring, and so the fact that I'm able to be in the same locker room and learn from these guys is a really cool thing. So just gonna really kind of run with that opportunity.
Tackling for a D lineman in the 2017 season, how you were happy about that? Doesn't happen quite often. How were you able to get so many times?
I think it was kind of fortunate, motor, good skill, all that, and coaches just put me in a good spot. a lot of teams were doing a lot of similar stuff, and we kind of found, a little formula that kind of worked for us, where we went on a good little win streak at the end of that year, and I was able to kind of help out with that, and just again, just going to try and find my role here, whatever it is.
I was going to cite that, and then also you even had passes defensed. Is there a certain stat you were most proud of, or an aspect of your game that you took most pride in?
I just want to be just a complete football player. I think just help the team, in every way. I think as a D lineman, the great thing is you can disrupt in a lot of different ways. So it's not just getting sacks. You could get QB hits. You can knock the ball down. You can make the quarterback uncomfortable. You can play the run. So heck, I even played special teams. So there's there's just a lot of different ways, and the more you can do, the more teams are going to value that, and I think that's kind of why I'm sitting here today.
How do you transition from watching Patrick Peterson, Terrell Suggs, Chandler Jones to being in the same huddle as they are?
I don't know. I'm probably going to be starstruck. I'm going to get yelled at the first few plays because I'm just going to be looking back at them when the ball's going right by me. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, though. Luckily, I got mini camp to kind of start out.
You think you might be able to be a steal for a good round pick, the guy who people thought would go low the first time?
That's definitely going to fuel the fire, I think, a little bit. And I think any deserving football player, is going to have that same mindset. So, at the end of the day, I'm just, very blessed to be in a great situation, in a great organization like Arizona. And, I think you guys will be, surprised.
Obviously, you've got the benefit of having him on your team, but for Kyler, what do you think it'll be like for opposing defenses preparing for his skill set?
Nearly impossible. I mean, you watch some of, I as just a fan of football, you watch some of his games, what he can do, running, and his throwing the ball is really, kind of some of those throws off of 1 foot, just 60 yards. I mean, it's crazy what he can do. So good luck to them. And, I'm just lucky, again, I just got to play him in practice. I don't got to play him in the games where it counts.
What's that like going from just like having that curiosity as a fan of the game, and now he's going to be on your team? This team could be so different than last year. Just what's it like being in that process right now?
I think it's exciting, just you were just trying to win games, and it's kind of cool to see kind of the pieces coming together. I think we, as a fan of the game, and also as somebody who's watching film and really studying football, this team definitely has a lot of the pieces to win games, and I'm really excited about that. And again, that's why I'm really excited to be here, is because I think we really can win all the games we need to win, and win championships and bring them here. So.
You mentioned falling in love with Arizona. So what was it like as you saw the Cardinals there in the draft, and was a spot where you thought you might go? Excited to maybe get to stay here.
Yeah, definitely. Every time you see kind of on the little ticker, what teams next, there's teams that you're like, oh no, and there's teams like, oh yeah, definitely. And when I saw Arizona, definitely got excited. So again, just really fortunate to be here.
Was there a driving force that got you realizing you could be a great football player? Was there somebody that pushed you, or you looked up to, leaned on?
I think for me, my position coach at the time, Coach Pasqualoni, definitely, instilled a lot of, kind of techniques and everything, kind of, my whole mindset about being a football player. And then on top of that, having Harold Landry a year ahead of me, I was able to basically, just shadow the guy and learn from him. And, people say what they want to say about him, but he's definitely one of the hardest working people that I've ever been around. And, a big reason why I'm here today is because of him. So I think I'm just very fortunate to have those people, help my career. That's why you see them. They're doing great things now. So it's kind of funny that we were all in the same spot, just 2-3 years ago, and now we're where we are now.
Outside of just watching film to prepare for games, how much football were you watching every week last year?
Honestly, I can't even watch TV copy anymore. I'm so used to watching the behind view and everything. So luckily for us at our school, our iPad had all the NFL games. So, the next day after, I'm able to watch, that Kansas City LA game. That was a blowout, stuff like that. But film is definitely a big part for me. And every Friday, because J.J. Watt was a player that I idolized, and also Chandler Jones. I'd watch a lot of those games on Fridays from their previous games just to kind of see what they were doing and try to take that into the following week.
So watching more NFL than college.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you watch Chandler with the Patriots?
What was the question?
Did you watch Chandler with the Patriots?
I mean, I grew up a Giants fan, so I didn't really watch that at all. No, I didn't. Yeah, so. But definitely watched a lot of him in Arizona. But he's the best doing it, one of the best doing whatever you want to say. So definitely another guy. I'm just gonna try and learn as much as I can from.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Boston College defensive lineman Zach Allen meeting the media, and we have now seen or heard from 4 of the 11 Cardinal draft picks: Andy Isabella, Zach Allen, Hakeem Butler, and Deionte Thompson. All MJ very well spoken, and all talking about that chip on the shoulder. More importantly, all ready to get to work.
Yeah, I get it. You know how I feel. I mean, we have all these mock drafts, and I really didn't pay attention this year because the Cardinals had the first overall pick. Now, granted, you start looking at second and third rounds, but these mocks, after a point in time, you got 40 to 45 guys that think they're going to be picked in the first round, and then teams tell them, hey, if they're there in the second round, then the team trades out of there, and they told me they're going to select me. So, hey, listen, whatever it takes to motivate you, you only can ask for an opportunity in life, and if you got a chip on your shoulder, so be it. Use that to grind and work hard every day and try to get better and also become a better person off the field.
Absolutely, and it sounds like that is exactly the goal of all 4 of these guys that we heard from here on this special edition of Cards Cover 2. This day 1, physicals, and then, of course, on the field Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Much more on the 3-day rookie minicamp on Friday when we come back with you on our normally scheduled time here on Cards Cover 2. And with that, we will sign off here on this special edition of Cards Cover 2. Special thanks to those behind the scenes: Tim Delaney, Jim Alejandro, Jackson Sipes, Felipe Corral Jr. For Mike Jurecki, I'm Craig Grialou. Thank you for listening to the 4 draft picks of the 2019 Cardinals draft class. We'll talk to you again on Friday here on Cards Cover 2.